right, that was 3 bucket loads. We could probably get one more, but I might put a little bit more, but not much. I might do like another half bucket. And then that is out of my 66-inch bucket for the Kubota. So a 66-inch bucket just loose dumped into the back of the 2500. That's a 6-foot 10-inch bed. You know, you're gonna hold, that's 3 scoops. You could easily get one more, so I'll say 4 scoops in the back of that bed. Not bad. Welcome back to Cabin View Ventures. My name is Nick, and thanks for joining me today. So this is our first video of 2024. I want to give a big shout out to all of the subscribers and followers that have been with us so far. We are a young YouTube channel. I've been doing this for 6 months now. So anybody that's new to this channel, let me give you a quick layout of the type of videos that we put out there. So I like to refer to this or our channel as small rural living. You know, we have 7 acres of wooded property, but we live in a pretty populated area. We're close to everything. You know, grocery store is 10 minutes down the road. We've got, you know, a big mall that's close to us, lots of shopping and dining. So we don't live out in the middle of nowhere. But, you know, you can head out into the woods and feel like you're out in the middle of nowhere. And that's kind of what I want to encourage or show people, that this is still possible. You know, we have a lot of farmland around us that is quickly disappearing. Developers are buying this stuff up. They're giving these old retired farmers millions of dollars to sell their land. You know, these guys, no fault to them, you know, they've probably been working on the farm their whole life. They're tired, you know, they're ready to retire and hang it up. And a lot of them don't have kids that were interested in continuing farming. So, you know, they're selling out for a lot of money. And these developers are just cramming as many homes as they can onto that land. So you're seeing a lot of, you know, overpopulated little townhome communities, and the houses are not built well. They don't look nice. So it's sad that, you know, this rural farmland is disappearing. What you can still find are smaller pieces of property that the developers don't want, that you can turn into your own rural paradise. So that's kind of what I want to show you guys, that it's still possible, it's still affordable to some extent depending on where you live, and you can turn it into your own rural paradise. So, you know, like I said, we have 7 acres here, so not a huge property. You know, it was all wooded. We cleared a little bit of it to build a house on. You know, we built a log house, and we like to cut firewood. We like to ride side-by-sides and 4-wheelers. You know, we like all the things about outdoor living. That's how I grew up. I grew up on a 2-acre property. It was all wooded. You know, my dad built a log house, and when I was a kid, I thought that was the biggest, most amazing place out there. You know, I spent so much time just running through the woods, building forts, building trails, and that's what I wanted my kids to be able to enjoy. So, you know, it took us a little while to find the piece of land we wanted, but, you know, we didn't give up. We eventually found it. And now we are in the process of turning it into our own small rural paradise. So, you know, some of this stuff we do, you know, we cut a lot of firewood, we do some trail maintenance, we always have projects going on, wood sheds, equipment sheds, log home maintenance. And then last year, like mid-year, I started a small firewood business. So my hope is that we continue to grow that business through 2024. You know, I don't know what it's going to become, but we're going to keep working at it because that's what we like to do. You know, another reason we started this channel too is just to have some videos of us working and playing with the kids around our property, so they have that stuff to look back on. You know, it's a lot of what me and my wife did with both of our parents. You know, we both grew up kind of on rural properties, And I would love to have videos that I can look back on of me working with my dad, because it's just hard to remember, you know, details about that type of stuff. So that's what we do. You know, we work outside, we have lots of projects. I hope that I can bring some good information or good content that can help somebody. And another thing is, you know, I'm quickly learning that you guys have tons of good ideas. So as I'm working on something and showing it to you guys, I'm getting a lot of good feedback on how I can change it, improve it, make it better, stuff that you guys are doing that works for you. So that's kind of been another added bonus to all of this, is just getting good ideas on how to do things easier, better, and that's what it's all about, right? So we're having fun, we're learning, and we're hopefully providing some good information for you guys. Now, as you can see, this is one of my wood sheds. This is the bay that we've been selling all of our bundled firewood out of this year, or last year. So I've got a little bit left that I'm gonna bundle up and get out front. You know, the roadside stand has, it's been steady. It's not been overly busy. We're not making a ton of money selling firewood, but it's been nice and steady. And we're meeting a lot of nice people, you know, getting a lot of good feedback from it. So I think we're going about this the right way. I wanted to start off slow. I don't have the room here to be a big firewood company. We're very limited in the space that we have available to, you know, stack and sell this firewood. So I want to make sure that we're selling good quality firewood, you know, good, in a good looking package. We spent our time building a nice looking roadside stand, and you know, so far it's paying off. So we're gonna get this restocked soon with some firewood that is really close to being dry. So you will see a lot of content on the firewood business and how that is growing. But first thing we gotta do today, I got a lot of little stuff to do today because we have a little snowstorm coming in this weekend. You know, we're supposed to get about 4 to 8 inches, so enough that we're gonna have to plow. So I wanna get the plow on the side-by-side. I want to get some, I actually want to get this road that we cut going down to the lower log yard, get that touched up a little bit, because I need to get stone in here soon to cover that up. It's finally starting to get cold enough where all the mud is freezing up. So, you know, hopefully we won't be working in the mud a whole lot longer. And then we need to get all that stoned. So we're going to do a little bit of organizing, get the plow on the side-by-side, bundle up some firewood, just a lot of little stuff to get ready for this snowstorm. So let's get busy. Alright, so one thing I said earlier, a perk to this channel so far have been good ideas from you guys for certain things I'm doing around the property. One of those I'm going to put to the test right now. So I have done a couple videos on this kindling cracker. This is the Kindling Cracker XL. It's the biggest one they sell, and it makes producing kindling much faster, much safer. It's actually fun to use. So this is the biggest one they sell. It's got almost a 9-inch diameter. I'm never gonna run a log that size through this thing. You're usually just gonna take a piece of already split down firewood, hammer it through, and what happens is as you hit it, you know, it'll drop through and onto the ground. So then you're picking it up, you know, you're re-splitting. So you do that a bunch of times per piece of firewood. So let me show you how that works, and then I will explain one of the suggestions I got. This is just a little piece of ash. It's gonna split nice and easy. Now you can hold on to them sometimes and catch them before they drop, but you don't always get them. That one actually wasn't too bad. So that one I lost. Alright, so I never really thought anything of it because, you know, bending down a bunch of times doesn't really bother me. But when you're splitting a whole lot, like when I'm using this to produce kindling bundles, I'm splitting a lot of firewood. So what somebody suggested was, you know, maybe wrap this somehow with a bungee cord or something to hold the firewood from falling out whenever you hammer it through. Now, one thing I have out here is a 5-gallon bucket. This bucket's from Lowe's. It's your standard 5-gallon bucket. I cut the bottom off of it because I use this to fill my bundles, my kindling bundles and my firewood bundles. Now for the firewood bundles, you know, I can fit usually about 6 to 8 pieces of firewood in here. I take it out of the bag and I stuff the bag the rest of the way to fill it out. But for the kindling bundles, this actually works perfect. The bag fits just over top of this 5-gallon bucket. I fill this completely, pull it out, done. The kindling bags are filled. This also fits perfectly right over top of this Kindling Cracker XL. So a 5-gallon bucket with the bottom cut out fits perfect over top of this thing, and it actually sits about an inch below the top rail here, so I shouldn't be smashing the bucket at all. The log is big enough underneath where it covers, the bucket sits entirely on top of the log, so there's no gap underneath. I think this is going to work out really well. So let's give it a shot here. Okay, so far this thing worked perfectly. So this was a really good idea, and thank you for the suggestion. I only bent over one time, and that was to pick up my pieces when I was all done. So this thing. Now this is a bigger piece, so this would be one that would definitely drop through if I didn't have the bucket there, and I would be picking up a lot of pieces. Those first couple pieces were pretty small, but this one was more of a normal size piece of firewood. Another big piece. Alright, that's not typical right there, but anything can happen. This is another one where I would have had a lot of pieces that dropped out. All right, what was that? 4 pieces. I didn't have to bend over one time. Let's take it off. And this is another, normal size piece of firewood here. Ouch. And that's typically what happens. So either you have to hit it so hard to get it through, it'll just pop out, hit you in the leg like that one just did, or just pop out the other side. So that one's a little too big. Still too big. I'm trying to catch these. Let's see if I can catch this one. Ah! Ah! See, I thought I had that one. All right, I lost count. How many times did I bend over on that last log? So the bucket trick definitely works. It's cheap, and I already had it laying around because I use it for my bundling. So again, thank you for that recommendation. All right, let's move on to the next good idea that I got, and it's about those firewood totes I've been working on. I've actually received a lot of good ideas with those firewood totes, so let's head down there and talk about those a little bit. Alright guys, so here are the 2 firewood totes I've built so far. If you've watched my last couple of videos, you saw me build these, fill them up, and try to move them with the Kubota, the L3901, and they're just too heavy with a face cord of firewood in them. So I need to reconfigure these and find a better way to do this. A lot of the suggestions I got from you is go to 2 rows instead of 3 rows. It's going to solve 2 problems. One, it's going to take a lot of weight off of the skid. It's also going to give me a lot more airflow through this firewood tote. So that's what I'm going to do. I think that's the best. I think that's the best solution. It's still going to allow me to fit a full face cord of firewood in them, because what I'm going to do is actually flip the cage. So instead of the cage running from side to side, I'm actually going to run it lengthwise with the skid. And I'm going to have, like I said, 2 rows of firewood. So 1 row here on this side, 1 row on the other side. So they're going to be 16-inch long pieces of firewood. You know, it's going to give me an 8-inch gap in the middle, so I'm going to have good airflow. 48 inches long, and then I can stack it as tall as I want. So I'm gonna have to go to 48 inches to get to a face cord of firewood. So 48 inches long, 48 inches tall, and 2 16-inch rows come out to 32 inches, which is exactly 42.6667 cubic feet. So to move it with the tractor, what we're gonna do is just fill it as tall as we can to be able to move it. Whether that's gonna be 2 feet, 3 feet, I'm not quite sure yet. But we will test that out and find out exactly how tall we can go. And then once I have this moved to where they're going to store, where they're going to stay and dry, we'll fill it the rest of the way. So I'll just haul side-by-side loads of firewood up there and just stack them in once they're stored, because they're not going to move once they're up there. I'm going to stack them all along the top of the hill up here where the firewood, or where the woodshed is. They're going to get good sun, they're going to get good airflow, and then once the wood's dry, I'm either going to move it right into the wood shed, or I'm just going to fill my bundles right out of these totes. So you can probably see a little better on this one over here how I have 3 rows right now, and they're packed tight against each other to get them all in there. So that middle row is going to get very little airflow to help dry it out. So I think this is going to be the best solution. I haven't quite figured out how I want to anchor the cage by going this way, because I need to be able to get the forks underneath of it. So I have a couple ideas, but we're going to get into this in another video. It's getting late in the day right now. I've only got a little bit more time to work before I need to go run out and do something. And I want to get the rest of these firewood poles cut up. So I want to get them cut up, piled, and get them covered so they don't get packed full of snow. And then and I think we're probably going to wrap things up for this video. So stay tuned for this one. I think this is going to be the final solution for these firewood totes. It sounds like it's going to work, and like I said, it's going to solve 2 of my problems. It's going to make them easier to move. I'm still going to get a face cord of firewood in them, and I'm going to get good airflow throughout the whole tote. So, all right, let's get these firewood poles cut up. All right, that is a pretty good pile of firewood right there. Another thing I like about cutting firewood too is it covers up all your mud, so you get a nice layer of sawdust on there. Much nicer to walk in that than mud. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap things up. I gotta go pick up the kids, so it's getting dark, but we got a good amount of work done. We're prepped for this snowstorm. We're making good progress on this firewood pile. So we got a lot coming up. If you like the content, please subscribe, hit that like button. I love all the questions and comments, so keep them coming, and I will see you guys on the next one.